I chose this topic because growing up, I struggled learning a second language through high school, so I believe that immersion programs at an early age would definitely be beneficial for the child in the long haul.
I was interested in the topic of bilingual education and immersion programs because I'm interested in the benefits that they provide for students later in their educational careers. I wasn't able to get this opportunity, but studying these programs, I can see the effect that they have on them at the high school level, at the college level, and then when they get into the job force, and I think it's really important for students to understand.
I chose this topic because growing up I got to learn two languages, and now I see the benefits of it when I search for jobs, and it helps me communicate with others a lot easily. And I got to go to Africa, and I got to use my language there and saw the benefits of it. And it benefits in various amounts.
Okay, good. I chose this topic because I think that it benefits the children in the future. So by having languages multiple, they're able to see how they can expand from it, and it'll be greater for their future.
Alright, I chose this topic because I have family members in the Philippines who grew up learning Chinese, English, and Tagalog, and I think it'll be beneficial for them in the future, especially since China is a growing country, and I think everyone in school in America should learn a second language as a kid because it'll help them improve their lives, and they'll get far, not only here in America, but
I was
other
interested
countries.
in this topic because when I was growing up, I had to learn two languages, Spanish and English, and it really helped me with my education, and I feel like it would help students and people in the future. It would be more beneficial for them.
Bilingual education and immersion programs provide a platform for elementary students to begin language learning when their brains are at their highest functioning levels. They are able to retain more information in early years, which is why these programs are known to have such a lasting effect on students.
There are many kinds of programs, including bilingual, immersion, and dual immersion. We are studying whether or not the administrators, teachers, students, and people of Hayward think that these programs are beneficial and why.
We have a dual language immersion program with Mandarin, and we run what's called a 50-50 program. So students spend half of their day in English and half of the day in Mandarin. They'll do English language arts, the reading and writing in English. They'll also do reading and writing in Mandarin. And then they'll do the core subjects in both languages so that they're building their academic vocabulary in both. We want the children, when they leave us, to be fully biliterate and bilingual. If we taught social studies only in English, the children wouldn't develop the vocabulary they need for that subject. So there will be days when the teachers will teach social studies in English. There will be days when they'll also teach within the same unit in Mandarin, so that the children are getting the language, the vocabulary, the experience in both languages. On a short-term basis, I think that when children learn a second language, it helps them to understand English as well. It helps them to really develop a knowledge of how language works. And so I think in all my years in education, I've always worked at schools with bilingual programs, whether in Spanish or Mandarin, and I've seen the children do very well with language, with both English and the second language that they're learning. I think that in long term, they have the advantage of being bilingual, which is wonderful. I mean, it helps you in business. It just helps you with anything that you do. And I think that just having the understanding of language helps too. When you do anything, people listen to your language skills. And whether we want to admit it or not, people do judge you by how you speak, how you read and write. And so if they have a better understanding of language and they're able to function on a higher level, both in English and the second language they're learning, they're going to do better. Yeah, I think that being in a bilingual program, a dual language immersion program, does help them learn about the other cultures. One of the things that we've done as we've developed the curriculum and the scope and sequence for every grade level, is that we do bring in history and culture into the program. We want the children to understand more than just the language. They need to understand where it comes from, what it means, what the history of the country it comes from means. So we expose them to as much culture as we can. At the end of every year, we have what we call our Mandarin Showcase, and every grade level does a performance. And we bring in a lot of literature, poetry, song, dance, things that are cultural, so that they're developing the language, but also an understanding of the country where the language came from. When I'm in classrooms, I just love seeing the improvement in the children's skills. And when you see their skills improving so much, we know we're on the right track and that we're really helping our children to develop a love of language.
Bilingual education is important between K through 12, just so that more students, more people have an opportunity to get more jobs, because I know they look into that in resumes and you'll be able to get better jobs.
A representative of the Hayward Unified School District explains that these programs create more opportunities for students because students are expected to know more than one language. When they sign on for the program, students are committing to 6 or 7 years of bilingual education.
Students have the opportunity to earn awards and achievements for continuing language learning through the 12th grade.
The representatives also say these programs can also close the achievement gap for low socioeconomic students.
These programs ensure that students' self-confidence is higher and makes them more resilient, wanting to make an educational risk.
Additionally, these programs are the parents' choice, so students have their parents' support from the start. This is huge, filling the void between school life and home life. This allows for the parent-child relationship to improve willingly.
I think bilingual programs are actually beneficial for K through 12 just for the fact that it keeps the students' culture alive. It's also beneficial for the fact that it gives them the opportunity of learning a second language. They won't have that, how would I say? It would be easier for them to actually learn better a second language growing up, because through high school, I mean, if you already have the advantage of learning when you're younger, when it comes to high school and you have to take that second language of French or English or Spanish, it would be easier for you to process or maintain all that information. For me, myself, I would say that they're beneficial for the fact of culture-wise.
The immersion program is a very effective program because it changed the whole entire bilingual education system. A student that is immersed in their language and in the English language are able to learn both languages and be effective in both languages. So they're no longer confused about the English language in questioning how they were taught at school, at home. So those individuals have shown promise that by middle school and high school, they're in advanced classes. They're actually graduating and going on to four-year institutions and being very effective in both of the languages.
This cartoon shows somebody explaining to a child that bilingual education was recently voted down in California. This is stopping students from learning English and other languages, and we're not the only place. Something needs to be done to ensure our students are getting the right education.
Take a risk, raise your fist, unite people, army, enlist. Rebel music transmit like this, proving that the movement exists. Realize you're the catalyst.
This chart is the perfect image to show what other countries are doing and we aren't. With all the resources that we have in our education system, Europe is still teaching more students more languages than we are in the United States.
Unite people, army, enlist. Rebel music transmit like this, proving that the movement exists. Realize you're the catalyst.
It's about that time. It's time, my peoples.